Welcome back, everybody. In this video, we're going to be doing the back panel for the brain to sit on. Something you'll notice about the way I designed the back panel is it doesn't sit on the surface. I actually inset it a thickness of plywood back into the side panel. That way you can see here where the joints are. There's actually plywood surrounding the entire joint, and that'll keep it from falling off on accident. And the brains are like $300 a piece, so we want to try and keep from damaging them. So it's just a little extra insurance to do that. We also need to create 4 holes in here at a very specific point. That's where the mounting holes are for the brain in the back. Awesome, so let's get started. All right, the first thing we do is close my data panel here. I'm going to rotate around to the back side. I'm actually going to turn off all my 3D printed parts so that my program will run a little more smoothly without all those parts being on the screen. I want to create a panel going across this back, but that's inside the panel a little bit. To do that, I'm going to use what's called a offset plane. So if I click here, so the problem I'm trying to solve is right now I don't have anything I can draw on. Like there's just nothing there to put it on because I don't want to put the sketch on this surface. I want to put it below this surface somewhere where there's nothing to put it on. So I'm going to create an offset plane first, and I'm going to put it offset from this surface out here, this flat face. And I'm going to say I want it to be, notice how it's going to try and put the plane in front. So here I'm going to put, type in TH for thickness. I'm going to put it 1 thickness back, but it went the wrong way. So that's easy to fix. I just put a negative in front of it. And now you can see it's gone into the piece of plywood now. So I'm going to click OK. And now I've got a plane. If I look at it from the left-hand side, I've got a plane that's inside here, inside my piece of plywood. Perfect. I'm going to create a sketch on that plane. It's going to square me up to it in this kind of weird way, but I'm going to live with it. Sideways. Sometimes Fusion just decides to do that to you. Actually, I'm going to try something real quick. I'm going to Control Z and come back out here to this view, rotate it back around. I wonder if it rotated me because I was tipped too much. So I'm going to click Create Sketch again and recreate it here. Nope, it did the same thing. I don't know why it does it. It just does it. Now what I need to do, if I hide the plywood pieces, I'm going to grab the base and drop it in the plywood since it's already done being made. I'm going to drop it in the plywood pieces. You can see I don't have any shapes on here to work with. So I'm going to go back to my, turn the plywood pieces on, and I'm just going to do a quick intersect. So I want to know where the pieces cross the plane at, cross my sketch. So here I'm going to go here, Project Include, and do Intersect. And I'm going to intersect, make sure it says bodies here. I'm going to say, okay, wherever this body touches my sketch, draw it in. This one. I can do this one too, but it may not ever touch my sketch. I'm going to click OK. Now when I hide the plywood bodies, you can see, oh yeah, that bottom base piece did go through the bottom of my sketch. Maybe that'll be nice to have. Now I want to create a panel that goes across here for putting my brain on. And the dimensions of that panel are 60 millimeters. So I'm going to grab a rectangle tool. I'm going to start right here. Remember, this is the plywood piece. I'm going to start right here where my panel hits the sketch and drag down to this purple one. And I'm going to hit Tab and click in 60 for the height. And then I'm going to hit Enter. Looks pretty good. Yep, and then I'm going to extrude this. E for extrude. Well, actually cancel that, sorry. We need to put in the holes. To do that, I'm going to need to find the midpoint of this outside rectangle. So I'm going to grab a construction line real quick and drag from one corner to the other corner. And then I'm going to grab a rectangle. I'm going to switch over from a regular 2-point rectangle to a center point rectangle. I'm going to come down this line until I see that triangle right there. That tells me I'm at the midpoint. And I'm going to drag my rectangle out. And the dimensions here are the long side should be 76.6. Tab. And the small side should be 38.4. Enter. Now, these are the 4 corners where my 4 holes should be. So next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to grab a circle tool or hit the C key on the keyboard. Come here and draw a circle. Oh, 4.5. But instead of hitting enter, I notice that I have a construction line still. I'm going to come over here, turn off construction lines, and then push enter. C, I'm just going to do that 3 more times. 4.5, enter. C, click on the corner, 4.5, enter. C, click on the corner, 4.5, enter. Now I'm going to extrude this. So hit E for extrude. I'm going to click on this outside space here, which is going to leave out the holes. So that's pretty cool. I can cut the holes while I'm making the part for the first time. I'm going to hit the home key. I'm going to turn the plywood back on. And here I see, okay, so I want to actually extrude this back towards me. So I'm going to do negative thickness here because that's the thickness of the plywood. Enter. And you can see it's coming back towards me. Now it thinks I want to join this, but I don't. I want to do a new body. And then click OK. Awesome. So there's my part right there. Now notice how there's no thing connecting it here. So I need to build in some tabs into this piece. To do that, I'm going to create a sketch right on the face here. And then I'm going to hide the plywood pieces and just build in 2 little finger projections out here. So to do that, I'm going to grab a rectangle tool, zoom in a little bit. And I'm just going to create right on the edge here. I'm going to create a rectangle that is 20 tab thickness TH. Enter. And then I'm going to dimension it. Yeah, about 5 from the top. That looks pretty good. Enter. And then, 20 was too much. Let's make it 15. And I'm going to show you an interesting tool that you can recreate a drawing somewhere on the other side. It's a mirror tool. We've done it with whole bodies, but not with sketches yet. So what I'm going to do first is I need to create a mirror line. So I'm going to mirror this rectangle over to this side. So I need a line in the middle here. So I'm going to come here and I'm going to grab a construction line. I'm going to find the middle of this side right there and just draw a length of line straight down, any size. It does not matter. I'm going to hit escape to leave the line tool. Then I'm going to come here and do create mirror. And I'm going to click on these 3 lines here that I want to mirror. Then up here, I'm going to click on mirror line and click this middle one. And now it just mirrored that shape to the other side. And because this line was exactly in the middle of the piece of wood, it went perfectly to this other edge. So I'm going to hit OK. Now I could redraw another rectangle and I can do it over here, do mirrors, but I can also mirror this. Watch this. This is kind of cool. So I'm going to do my construction line again, except this time I want to mirror these top 2 down to the bottom. So I'm going to find the exact middle. There it is right there, the exact middle of the side. Drag straight out, any distance at all, doesn't really matter. Hit escape. And now I'm going to do the same thing. Create mirror, and I'm going to click on these 3 lines as well as these 3 lines. And then I'm going to click down to tell it what my mirror line is, and we're going to mirror around this line, and you can see it's just drawn the other ones in for me. Click OK. And now I'm going to go straight to extrusion, so E for extrude. And if I tip it, I can see the extrusion arrow, and it's wanting to go up, but I want to go down. So I'm just here for distance. I'm going to do negative TH, enter. Yep, that looks great. Make sure it says join because I want to join them all together, and then click OK. Awesome. I'm going to turn the plywood back on, zoom out a little bit. And now you can see I've got my panel built. So let's name this real quick. So this is the brain panel. I've got that built. The holes are cut for the mounting screws. The only problem is when I hide the brain panel, notice how there's no holes for those little tabs to go into. So I've got to do 2 more combines. I'm going to do a combine command to cut holes here and then do it again to cut holes here. Turn the brain back on, do the combine command. My target body is this panel here, that inside panel. My tool that I'm going to cut with is this back piece. And it says keep tool, so that's good. So I'm going to say OK. I'm going to repeat that, combine tool, click on this outside panel. This is my tool, and click OK. Now when I hide my base, or the brain panel, you can see that I've got the holes now cut for that brain panel, and it's all ready to go, except it just needs some coloring. So I'm going to do A for appearance, and I'm just going to drag some bamboo on there, and then hit close. And now because it's done, I'm going to just drag it into the plywood folder and hit the home button. And we are close. We have one more piece to do. The last thing we need to do is right now, there's nothing keeping these two panels from like flexing and bending. So as we use our robot, this robot would break really fast. We're going to add one more piece of wood right across the bottom here to brace it. And then we are done with Fusion for a little while. Well, almost. So let's go back to the home button and then have a great one. We'll see you in the next video, everybody.